Hello, hello. Welcome to Women of God Wednesdays. Just waiting for my cousin Shaleta to come on. And we're going to talk a good talk today. We're going to talk a really good
Is
talk.
this okay? Dang, it's really close. Is this okay? Hold on. I should have been prepared.
Oh, you're putting your earphones on. Your hair looks good.
Thanks, I showered.
Mine is all shriveled. It's all good
You're
though.
fine.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Shaleta.
Hi.
It's my cousin. So she's married, but she waited to have sex until she was married. So
I did.
what made you? So we're just gonna jump into it. What made you wait?
Before I start talking, like, does this sound okay? Or
Yeah, I can
no?
hear you. Well, I can hear you.
Okay. It's not like a bunch of background noise or anything?
Well, I hear a
Oh,
like
is
I
that...
hear wind.
Oh, because I'm outside. So is that a
Oh,
problem? Is that okay?
we're
Or...
green. No, it's okay.
Okay.
You're
Okay,
fine.
sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so why did I wait? That's what you asked me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um,
What did Autumn say? Okay, Teddy, what?
I don't know. I look weird looking because my phone is this way, so I'm like,
It's okay. So what made you wait?
I decided to wait for personal reasons. You know how pastors always talk about like children when they're young and they know about God, like they just have more of a pure heart and just like they want to do so well to do so much to please God and like
Mm-hmm.
just want to make him proud. And I think that's why I wanted to do it because like I became a Christian or I got baptized when I was 5 or 6,
Oh,
which I think is pretty young, but I was fully well aware of who God is and the
mm-hmm.
things that he's capable of doing for your life and things like that.
Yeah.
So, and I was also, honestly, I was like terrified of sex too. So that was another reason why. I was just like, I don't
I
know
feel
if I
that because
really
my
want
mom showed
to.
me a group of pictures. That's what she did when I
Yeah, and
started
it
my
wasn't,
monthly of diseases and told me I could get
oh my
pregnant.
gosh. Okay, yeah, mine wasn't that intense. I was just afraid. I knew it would be like painful because I've heard like
Mm-hmm.
stories from people saying it hurts and stuff. And I was like, if I can avoid some pain, I'm going to. So I was just like, no. And then also too, I I have friends who didn't wait, and just some of the like, ties that they have with people, and just like some things didn't end well, or it was
Yeah.
just drama afterwards, and sometimes they felt like discarded, and like you don't care about them anymore after you did whatever. And I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
go through that, so I was like, I'll just wait. But I mean, realistically, it was hard because you get to a certain age, you're like, okay, I'm not
Yeah,
talking to
hormones are on
anyone.
another
Like, come
level.
on.
Where that's what I want to ask too. Were you gonna get to a point where you're like, forget this, I'm not waiting anymore?
Yeah, I.
Like to the
Um,
point where you're like, you know what, I'm cutting 26, about to be,
yeah, I
26.
set a deadline for myself. I was like, if I'm not married, or yeah, at least like seriously dating someone or engaged by the time I'm 30, I'm just gonna lose it. Like I don't care anymore.
Whoever you
Um,
are, just take it.
yeah, but coincidentally, the last time, or coincidentally, the when I made that decision, um, well, I didn't like meet Milan because I've known Milan like forever, but
Yeah.
we started like talking a couple months after that. After I
Yeah.
like made that promise to myself, so I was like, all right, God, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. So,
Yeah.
during that process of dating, how was that? Like, how did you guys have a conversation about you not wanting to lose your virginity until you got married, or like how
So no, we started dating and we moved kind of fast. So we went on a date.
yeah.
And I guess also because I've known LaJuan since we were kids. So
Mhm.
it wasn't like I was just meeting this like brand new person I had never met before.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier to move fast with things. So we got into a relationship. I guess to people it would be fast. To us, it was like it seemed like the right time.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. What was I? What
But
did you say?
basically, did you have the conversation with him that
Oh,
you wanted to
conversation
wait?
about sex. Right, right, right. Okay,
Uh-huh.
sorry. Um, so no, we didn't. It wasn't until we were together, identifying as boyfriend and girlfriend, that I randomly texted him, and I was like, "I have something to tell you," and he goes, "Okay." He already knew though. As soon as I sent him that text, he knew that I was going to tell him that I was a virgin and I wanted to wait until marriage.
Yeah.
So he was kind of like he didn't really he was kind of on the fence because his last relationship was his ex was a virgin and
Yeah.
lost her virginity to him, and it ended up being a pretty toxic relationship towards the
Yeah.
end, and he just didn't want to deal with that. So he kind of had like a stigma toward dating a virgin because
Yeah.
of the experience that he had in the past. So, no, we didn't talk about it, and I kind of wish that we did. So I do like you, like I encourage you when you are seriously dating or intentionally dating someone.
Mhm.
Um, I think you should have an open and honest conversation about like your expectations.
Mhm.
With sex. I think that can also like weed out the people who you're not, supposed to date.
Yeah.
Because if you're upfront, like then they have to respect that, and vice versa. Like because that person that you're talking to, they be like, "Well, I don't want to wait," and you have to respect that person's,
Yeah.
views and be like, "Okay, that's fine, but I'm gonna do me." So
Good
but
day.
yeah, I wish we did though have the conversation. Even when we were engaged, we didn't really talk about it. Like
That's what
we
I
knew
want
we
to
were
ask.
gonna wait. Yeah,
So when
we
you're
didn't talk about
engaged,
it.
would you say you need to talk about sex and like
Yes, you
the
need to
things
talk
that,
about it.
especially if the person's already advanced, is that a conversation that needs to
Yeah.
be had?
So
That's
with
what I want
our situation, Lawan wasn't a virgin when we
to.
got
Mhm.
together, and I was. So
Mhm.
he was already ahead of me when it pertained to like that aspect of a relationship. So and um I wish when we were engaged that we had the conversation, just to avoid issues in the future, like once we got married. So I think like people who are engaged, or people who are really seriously dating, I think you do need to have an open and honest conversation about sex, about your desires, what you want in your sexual relationship with that person, like really like serious, like if you plan on marrying this person, then you need to feel comfortable having any type of conversation. So like even as being as honest as saying like I like aggression, like I like aggressive sex, like you need to
Yeah.
say that, because if you like aggressive sex and you're getting with a person that's more like sensual and passionate, there's gonna be a disconnect. So not saying that that won't work, but if there's no conversation that's held, then it's like, okay, well, how are we gonna
Now we're
make this
just
work?
guessing through stuff, and then it becomes challenging. So what
Yeah,
about? Do you
or they
think?
can look to others for satisfying those desires that their spouse aren't meeting, instead of having a conversation, which can cause like infidelity and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. And do you think that virgins, like people who are virgins, we tend to make that our identity?
Yeah. I mean, I did. It's,
Yeah, and
I
I
don't
know
think you
I
should.
like I'm learning from you not to do that. Like you're telling me not to do that
Yeah,
because I
don't do
know.
that because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, yeah, you're a virgin. Okay, but what that you can be
Okay.
a virgin and have like a really ugly heart, like you could be
Yeah.
saving yourself, but you can still be like have a terrible attitude. You can be like a really mean person or be a hurtful person. So like just because you're a virgin doesn't mean like, I mean, we equate virginity to purity, but like you can be a virgin and have like a really unclean heart and just
Yeah.
not a kind person. So I don't think that, I think it's obviously a part of you, like a part of your identity as a whole person. But I
Yeah.
don't think that that should be like a Riva the Virgin. Like,
Yeah,
It's
because
just
then I
weird.
believe
And
because it takes over your identity and you feel as if like you feel kind of superior. Bye, the superior.
exactly. And that's what I was going to say. I feel like if you're constantly broadcasting your virginity and all this stuff, like,
Got him.
um, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's dismissive. Even in church, I feel like in church they're always like, don't have sex before marriage. And it's like, okay, but what if I'm not? You know,
Right, that
what does that
part.
mean for people like me? Like I believe in God. Like I know His grace. I know that He died for my sins. Like I'm trying to be the best that I can be. I'm trying to become a better person, become kind, and all because I'm not a virgin. Like I'm less than this person who is, and
Yeah,
I don't think that it shouldn't be that way because
and
it's
it's
super
not that's not
dismissive.
biblical either.
Exactly. So it's like
Yeah,
you don't
it's
have to
not.
be that way. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. You don't it's obviously a part of you, and I think if you still are one, for people who still are, like I think you should be proud of that. But I don't think it's something that should like be a label on you. Like it's just another part of you.
yeah. And I will want to
Yeah.
say because people who have red plug, you're worth more. I'm not a perfect person. So, like, go get the book, go read Your Worth More. The simple fact, like, I've had oral sex. So, some people that's like, oh, nope, you're crossed out, not a virgin anymore. So that made me feel like, oh my God, like, I'm just the worst person ever. But I think it's because sometimes like how you said, the church can hold virginity up so high, like
Yeah.
it's a god, like basically an idol. So when you do mess up, you're just like, you're just like this, like all this condemnation comes up on you because,
Exactly. Oh,
go ahead, go ahead.
frustrating. No, it's just really frustrating. Like, because I've seen this growing up in church. Like, I had friends growing up in church who weren't, you know what I mean? And they're still good people, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we all fall short of God's glory, but we have God's grace, you know what I mean? Like, He
yeah,
died for our sins for a reason. So, things
yeah.
like that, like, that's what that's for. Not saying you should abuse it, like, I'm gonna dabble in this sex
I'm
because
gonna run this one time for the
yeah, like you
hood.
can't
Like,
do that. But I feel like when you really recognize God's grace and you understand, like, He died for me, like I'm
yeah,
special to Him, then I feel like it'll naturally make you not want to engage in certain things. And you know what I mean? So, yeah.
yeah.
Is it weird? Should I
Hold on.
flip it?
Huh?
That's what I was saying.
Okay, Dad, I'm on here. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you're okay.
Okay.
My train of thought is just trash right
Wait,
now.
what were
I'm
we
sorry.
just saying? Oh, the church. The church.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Oh, that's what it. So, what do you think the church should like emphasize or do as far as like the topic of sex and the topic of topic of sex when it comes
I
down to
think
that?
that they should have more, like conferences or something, or um,
Do you think
open
conferences
for
or
people.
small groups?
Well, like okay, conferences, yeah, that's like huge. That's like thousands of people. Just like small groups or classes. That's the word I'm trying to think of.
Okay, class.
Classes. I think they should have classes like Lawan and I. Prior to us getting married, we did premarital classes, which I highly recommend for people, especially Christian couples, to do that because you address a lot of things that you probably wouldn't have even thought about, prior to getting married. Um,
Yeah,
so I highly encourage it. I think it's definitely necessary to have that conversation and to just be honest. I feel like in church we like tiptoe around sex, and it's like God designed sex for married
yeah.
couples. Like He made it.
Like Pastor
So
Michael Todd said in his book, sex was God's idea. It was
yeah, it was
it
His
was created for
idea.
us.
So
He created
and
it.
we're
Trey
so like
Songz did it.
uncomfortable about it, and it's like no, like it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to be
Mhm.
comfortable about it. And I think a lot of the time why in the church they're so like prude about it or overly conservative, I think is because they within their own marriages aren't having the conversation. Like
Dang,
I
that's
feel like there's plenty of marriages right now, people who've been married for 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years, and they're probably not sexually satisfied because they've don't want to have that conversation with their spouse. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's okay. If you're going to be having sex with that person for the rest of your life and their life, you might as well enjoy it and, like really talk about things that you like or you don't like or things that you
Yeah.
want to try. Like, it's okay. Like, it's undefiled when you're married. So, like, enjoy it, make use of it.
Yeah. So during that time, to go back to like when you were, let's say when you were engaged, what questions would you have asked Lawan to make the marriage go a little bit smoother when you guys first like began?
Um, well, Luan and I were pretty open and honest about a lot of things. We both were pretty serious. We knew that our relationship was going to transition into marriage. Um, but we never really had deep, serious conversation about sex and what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think I really wish that we would have because we were on two different levels sexually. Like I was a virgin and he wasn't. So he had experience with things that I was totally unaware of or, didn't know about.
Yeah.
So, um, and I mean, obviously with sex, like it comes with, learning and feeding off of each other, like your body language or things that
Yeah.
you like and that you don't like. So I think that just having that conversation, about sex, even having conversations about children, um, how many kids you want in the future, buying a house. Like, I mean, those are pretty typical things that you should naturally want to have conversations about. But I
Yeah.
think ultimately, just relationship and sex. I really wish that we had more conversations about it, and we would have avoided a lot of like weird things
Yeah,
that
like
happened
weird
in the
things. Do you say
past.
being a virgin made you even like because it was so pressed into our brain to stay
Yeah,
that way that when it was
yeah,
time to do it, you were scared to even like open up to that?
yeah. Because I think one of the main reasons why we never really had the conversations because I didn't know how to have the conversation. I
Yeah,
didn't know how to talk about, things that you like, things that you do like foreplay, like your
hmm
desires, like things you want to incorporate in it. Like I didn't know how to have that conversation with him. So I think that was a serious drawback and it's unfortunate, but we've obviously worked through it.
yeah,
And also just him being like a really supportive and like patient and understanding person. So I think in a marriage, as far as like all aspects of it and sexually, you need to have patience, and really
yeah,
like go to God as well. Because Lawan would always tell me, because I'm not an aggressive person. Like Lawan likes aggression and I don't. So it
yeah,
was hard, like trying to practice aggression because I obviously want to satisfy my husband, and vice
yeah,
versa. But I didn't really know like what to do or like that lack of confidence because in church they're like don't have sex. Like if you have sex,
yeah.
like it's just some this negative
Like
thing of
basically,
you.
that was our like knowledge was just don't
Yeah,
have sex.
that was
Yeah,
it. But it was nothing else. There was no other conversation after that. So there was a
yeah,
lot of you figure things out through social media, through movies, through your friends. Like
yeah,
that's what you know. But like no one would like sit down and have a conversation with you about the importance of marriage, the covenant that
hmm.
exists with. Like I mean, it is a covenant. Just having those type of conversations. But
And what
yeah,
made you guys both like stand on it, like to the point where like we're really gonna wait to have sex? Like, because I know there were
um.
times where it's like, oh, this is hot, this is hot. Like,
Yeah, we have
you find
had
your person attractive. So how did you like
right.
for those who are like waiting, who are
Yeah.
like really waiting to have sex and waiting for marriage and stuff like that? What would you say that helped you guys not to, you know, cross over, basically?
I will say it was really hard. I think it was a lot harder for him than it was for me because I can't
You can't miss
really
what you never had.
miss what you
So
never had.
okay,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it wasn't like that deep for me, but there were moments where it would be hard. But we both understood like what was at stake, and we wanted to
Hi,
have
Summer.
a beautiful, marriage. We wanted to have a beautiful relationship,
Mhm.
um, and we wanted to have a beautiful sex life. And
Yeah,
it just wouldn't have felt right. Even if we would have did it, we knew we would have regretted it. Because even, um, it was maybe like a month or two. before we got married, and we were alone. Like we had the place to ourselves. I was like, we could do it right now. Like, let's just do
Oh,
it. Like
shoot.
we're getting married. Like we know each other.
Yeah.
Like
Would you say it was worth it to wait instead of doing
yeah.
like why?
I think it's just it's because
Give us
we
something to
don't.
hold on to, girl.
I think because of like the connection, the intimacy of it. Like I can sleep with him knowing like he only wants me, like I only want him. Like
Yeah.
I know that he's gonna satisfy my needs and I him, and it just builds a bond. Like Luana and I are really close. Like closer than we were before we got married.
Yeah.
So I think a part of that is because of us waiting and because we keep God at the center of our relationship.
Yeah.
If things, if we have an argument or something is off where we feel like there's tension or something's wrong, like we can sense that and we pray about it because that's all you can do.
And was it like
And
that when you guys were dating too, as well? Like
yeah,
when you guys started dating, like did you guys establish like your prayer life and like things like that?
yeah. When we first, it was like a roller coaster. So when we first got together, um, it was like kind
Time
of
out. Were
weird.
you looking for him too, or like looking for somebody to date, or you just kind of
No, not
explain that to me?
really. I wasn't really looking for anyone because by then I had given up. I was like, whatever. I was on Tinder and I was like, this is not okay. So I'm just gonna avoid that. But
Shout
yeah,
out to POF and Tinder.
I was like, whatever, it's fine. It was like it is what it is. But I
Yeah.
saw him. He was at church one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the one. But I wasn't really like seeking a relationship. I was just like, I'm gonna just be alone, live with my mom and dad, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
gonna just be alone.
I mean that's what I thought was gonna happen. I was like, it doesn't seem to be working out for me relationship wise. So, but it was fine. But yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't looking. I don't think you should actively look, but I don't. But when I say that, I don't mean like don't date because I think you
Yeah.
should be open to dating people, like getting to know people and things like that. But yeah,
So where was your headspace as a single person during that time?
my headspace is trash. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I had a lot of identity issues. Like I
Mhm.
hated the color of my skin. Like I didn't really like being black. Like I
Mhm.
had body image issues. I didn't like my weight, and I was constantly like hoping to eventually find someone that will tell me that I'm beautiful instead of just like telling myself that
Scenario
I'm
stupid.
beautiful. What did you
Yeah.
say?
She said not both of
Oh,
us in the house with mommy and daddy.
right. No, a mess. A mess.
Go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
oh my gosh, my
No,
train of thought. I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. You're like being single. You're trained like the where your
Yeah.
mind goes.
So what's crazy is the one that I had this conversation a couple days ago. We were both like, man, I really wish we both would have really focused on our singleness, like prior to getting
Mm.
together, because it's imperative. Like people who are single watching this, like really enjoy your singleness. Like really focus on you and your relationship with God. Like focus on you as a person. Like and
That's what I
work
was
on
gonna ask
things
too.
about you too.
If you're like okay, because I say this a lot, but it's like if you're and I need to work on it myself, but if you're single chasing marriage, you'll end up in marriage chasing singleness. Is that
Yeah.
true? Like
Yes. Yes, that is very
okay,
true. That is absolutely 100% true. Um,
how so? Girl,
because
I'm sorry. I'm just
you,
asking all these questions. I'm
no,
like,
it's totally fine. Like I had the conversation with Lawan last night. I was like, "Is there anything you don't want me to say or not address?" And he's like, "No, like you can be honest. I don't care." So
okay,
if you can ask whatever you want, I don't care.
okay.
Um, but yeah, so I I never had sex with anyone, so
Mhm.
it was like when I started to have sex, I was like the enemy was really putting thoughts in my head. I was like, dang, like if I'm like this is nice with him, like I can only imagine what it would be like with, like I
Yeah.
had those thoughts.
Yeah.
And with him, he like things happen fast. Like we got married, 6 months later I got pregnant. Like it happens really
Woof.
fast. And which I also too, if you don't plan on having children right away, I think you and your fiance or your spouse should have the conversation about contraceptives, like birth control, like seriously. Like if
Hmm.
you because that too, like an unexpected I think a lot of people don't have that conversation or address it. Having a baby super fast in a marriage when you haven't really enjoyed
The
just
person.
the person, and we suffered with that. Like we didn't really get to fully enjoy just he and I being married, just enjoying our space, enjoying our privacy. Like
Hmm.
it was pretty short lived after I got pregnant with Jaden. So it
Yeah.
sucks, but we've been working through it. And one thing I appreciate is we
And Jaden's
both.
so cute. Just throw that
Oh
out
my
there.
god, he's a lot, but we're working through it. We understand the importance of dating, like still dating your spouse, the
Yeah.
importance of keeping them first, because I feel like a lot of times, um, couples in marriages, when there's children involved, like they put the child first, they put the child's needs first, and sometimes they can, without even realizing, like can overlook something that their spouse is dealing with, or their spouse not getting their needs met or satisfied, or getting attention or love, or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to get lost in that, but we work really hard not to let that happen,
Yeah.
because that's how infidelity happens. That's how there can be like a disconnect. um,
Autumn said it's hard. That's your baby.
Yeah, and exactly, like that's your baby. That's like you want to do everything for them, but if you and your spouse aren't good, that's going to trickle down to your children.
Yeah.
Like if Lawan and I have conflict, we're not seeing eye to eye on things all the time, and there's tension. Like Jaden is going to pick up on that. Like
Yeah.
I remember one time we there was a lot of tension. We had like a heated argument, and Jaden was just a mess. Like he was just cranky and just a lot. Like it was too much, and it was obvious because he was feeding off of the energy that Luana and I had against each other.
Wow.
So if
Autumn
we're
said
not
that.
good, like they're not good. Yeah, if
Mhm.
you and your spouse aren't good, it's going to trickle down to your kids, and then you don't want your kids to grow up, go away for college, and then like you and your spouse are like, okay, so like you don't know your spouse, like you don't know who you're married to, you know,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be that way. So really, like constantly work on dating each other,
Mhm.
learning new things. Like there's so many things that I learned about Lavon since being married in a good way,
Yeah.
that I
And
didn't really
since you've
know.
been married, what did you learn about you? Like that you could have
Um,
learned in your singleness.
I
Autumn
could have
said my
learned.
fear.
Wait, what's your fear? What's your fear? Say it. Or
Dang, what were we
maybe I
saying?
said something. I don't know.
Sorry. Dang it. Autumn,
Um,
what did Shaleta say? What was the fear?
yeah. Okay,
My
well,
bad.
while she's typing that, well, you had asked me a question
What did
just now.
I Oh, what did you learn about
Oh, about myself.
yourself
About
when
myself.
you're
Okay.
Oh, she said kids
Oh,
going to
yes, kids
college.
going to college. Yeah. So we don't
Hmm.
want that. We don't want Jaden to be gone away to college, and me and Lawan are fighting, and we're like not really cool because
And she said
I
and
was
not knowing
focused.
your spouse.
Yeah, like I don't want that. I want that to be an opportunity for us to do whatever we want to do. Um, there were a lot of things that he would tell me, and I'd be like, "How do you know that? Like, you don't even go to church. Like, what?"
Yeah.
But and it comes down to, yeah, like the person said, being equally yoked. And
Yeah.
I mean, I always heard that phrase, um, but it wasn't until recently where I really read it, and it makes sense. The analogy, like you have to be equally yoked, or it's not going to work out. Like
Hmm.
it's not going to work out.
How
There's going to be
important it is
conflicts.
how important is it now that you're married? Like the simple fact that you're in this, like, and you know.
It's
So
super important because, like, if there's tension or conflict, we both, because we're equally yoked, we both realize, okay, we're not seeing eye to eye on something, so like, let's really get down to the nitty gritty of it, like, what's going on, like
Mhm.
communicating well. If we need to pray because there's just so much tension going on, like we go to God and we pray, or
Yeah.
Lawano go study his Bible just to like clear his mind. And I
Yeah.
think that's good that we have that, because if not, he can like go leave for a couple hours, come back, and what does that do? Like anything can happen, or it can just escalate the issue. So I think it's very imperative for you to be equally yoked. And I feel like it wouldn't be fair of me to admit that sometimes that doesn't happen. Like you get married and then you realize you're unequally yoked. But I think when you put God at the center of the relationship, you can get to that point where you're equally yoked.
Amen.
Where you see
Yeah.
eye to eye on things. Where
Autumn
you
said
know,
never leave
yeah, you
the
shouldn't
house.
leave. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as leaving, you go to the other
Other
room. You
room.
go,
I said
yeah.
go to the other room.
If you got a balcony or a patio, go sit outside, but don't like leave. So, yeah, I think it's super imperative, and I think it just helps the relationship get better. Like, because Lawan and I weren't necessarily equally yoked, but some things we knew, like, we should figure it out. But
Yeah.
we've gotten better, because there would
Because
be
you
times
grow together,
before.
right? Like
Exactly,
through
we
the
grow
pandemic.
together. Like we're always complimenting ourselves now when we have an argument, but we
Wait,
address it.
what?
No, because how we handle it. Because like before, Luana and I would get to heated arguments, and it would be tension. Like I would be
Hmm.
silent, he would not talk to me, and this would go on for like days until like he like he becomes the bigger person, or I'm the bigger person. Like okay, like I'm sorry, but like there's no real resolution. So now, if there's something, like if he says something that I don't necessarily agree with or hurt my feelings, or if I did something to him without knowing that bothered him, instead of like dwelling on it, just we address it. Like, hey, when you said that, I didn't really like how you said that, or that really hurt my feelings. But I think what also helps is we realize that we're a team. Like we're in this together. Whatever we deal with, like we're dealing with it head on together as a unit, and not as enemies. So I think
Yeah.
that helps too. Like really understanding, like if he says something to hurt me, chances are he didn't mean to, because I know that he loves me. And,
Hmm.
or with me, like if I said something, I'm not going to say it with like malice, because that wasn't my intentions. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that just understanding, but that comes with knowing who you marry, like knowing that person and
Hmm.
knowing their intentions, knowing their heart, knowing like they're not that type of person. Like when I had said something last week and I was like, I could have gone back to my old ways and like just pouted and like not said anything, or like
Hmm.
expect him to be like, "What's wrong? Is everything okay?" Because that's what I
Hmm.
used to do. I would have him like basically fork it out of me, because I would not just be open and honest if something bothered me or if he said something that hurt me. But
Yeah.
now, when that happened, though, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to address it. I was like, okay, I know, like, I love you. I know that you would never say anything to hurt my feelings or do anything intentionally to hurt me. But what you said, that kind of bothered me. That kind of hurt my feelings. And he was like, oh, like, I'm sorry. That's not what I
Well,
meant.
that's
Like, this
gross.
is what I'm. Girl, growth, okay?
Because I
Because
don't know, but I may. That's why I'm still single. The
I
Lord is
mean,
molding me
literally,
on
or
that.
like this has happened like within a year, and Lawan and I have been married for 3 years, and we've been together for 5. And just last year, I've grown, and you know what I mean. So it's it takes time, but you
So,
really have to push yourself to do it, because it's so easy to be like, man, whatever. I'm gonna just give them the silent treatment, and it doesn't do anything.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So, what were your high expectations that you would tell a single person don't think like that going into marriage? As far as the,
Um.
do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, for sure. Um. Don't expect them to be able to read your mind. That's one big thing.
Oh, that's good.
Don't like you can try to convey something as best you can without using verbal cues, like verbal ways of letting that person know.
Mhm.
if they're not going to get it, it's your fault because you didn't say anything. Like, you can say, well, I gave them these type of hints, or well, I mentioned this. Like, if you didn't directly say, I want these shoes, or I want to go to this place, they're not going to know. And you cannot be mad at that person. You can't be, because you didn't say anything. And I struggled with that a lot because I like mentioned, I was so petty, girl. I would be on
Autumn
social
said men
media.
aren't psychics.
Yeah, they're not. And you can't expect them to be. Just like with you, like I can't he can't expect me to read his mind. Like if he wants something, he has to say it. Or if, something is bothering him, he has to say it. And I have to say it. Or a lot of things just aren't gonna be addressed because we're not saying anything. So don't expect them to read your mind.
Yeah.
Um what else?
That is hilarious.
Um
Men aren't psychics.
Yeah, that was a big one though. Like you can't expect them to read your mind. I would post something like, "Man, I really been wanting to get some ice cream. Why couldn't I just ask him, can we go get some ice cream?" Like
What?
I
You're
would do that all the time. Like I would post it on Snap and be like, "Oh, I hope he sees this, and maybe he'll come home with some ice cream." Or Shalita, you could just ask
simply
him.
text your husband. You have his number.
Right. Sometimes I would do it. He'd be in the other room, and I'd be like, "Oh man, I want to get some Cold Stone." It's
That
like
is funny.
I could have just walked in the room and been like, "Hey, let's go get some ice cream or something." So, but
I
what
know we
else?
kind of discussed this because I know you got to go in a minute because I know you got.
I'm fine. You're the
Okay.
one has Jaden, so you can take as long as you need to.
Okay, so basically, my question, I know I asked this already, but like, when I'm neither dating or engaged, but I just want to know specific questions you should be asking, like specific questions you ask. Like, I know the typical, do you have a relationship with God? Do you want to wait to have sex? Stuff like that. But like, you give it like,
Yeah, I would ask those. That's a good question. What questions to ask?
yeah.
I think, like I mentioned before, like sexually, what they want, what they like, or what they desire.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Name.
also, also things that they're working on. Like I think you should feel comfortable enough to say like I really sometimes struggle with opening up if I don't feel like I have a safe enough space. Letting them know like I want to feel vulnerable with you. So like
Mm-hmm.
saying that. What else? Also having hypotheticals like in, let's say you have a lot of debt. You need to discuss debt. I think that's really important because I didn't. I knew Luan had debt, but I didn't know some of the debt that he had, like how he got some of the debt. And I was like, you know,
Where'd
but
that
also
come
too,
from, bro?
and also just address things that you are maybe working on. But I think that can be avoided if you really focus on that and work on that in your singleness. I was terrible with money. I
Mm-hmm.
did not manage money well at all. And I
I'm
think
getting
that
there.
just came with me not valuing how you handle your finances, like your
Nate
credit.
said credit report printed out. I'm not gonna
I mean, like,
play.
not necessarily like that deep, but I do think you need to address not, going there like, yeah, my credit score is blah blah blah. But I
Mm-hmm.
think you do need to address like debt, like finances. Also, like you need to know like the person, like what they do, if that's something long term. Like is this income, is this something that we can comfortably survive off of with you and I? Or hypothetical, like someone is
These
not able to
comments,
work.
girl. Yeah,
Are they able to are
put
they
that ish
able
out.
to
That's
take
day
care of you?
3.
But debt is really, you really need to discuss debt. You need to discuss like your sexual desires, things that you're into, and things that you're working on yourself, like finances.
Autumn,
Lamont helped me
Summer,
do
that's a good
better.
question. Summer said, is it below or above this number?
I mean, that's fair, and they can choose to answer or not. If they choose not to, that can go left. Because they could be like, why you want to know? Or they could be ashamed. It could be in the like 300s, you know what I mean? Or they don't want to like, they don't want you to use them. It could be like an 8 something, you know? So,
Like, leave, run away.
yeah.
But
But
yeah.
I'm trying to think, I mean, is there, since I don't really have like a bunch of questions that I thought to ask,
Hmm.
you like, what is it that you feel like you want to ask a
But
person?
okay, I'm not gonna lie, because growing up in church, I just felt as if, and I know we kind of just talked about it already. Like, is talking, about sex, is it really bad when you're engaged? Because some people say you shouldn't have to talk about that. That should just come when you guys get married. Like,
I
you
don't think
guys just
so.
learn each other, type of thing. You know.
I think, you know, I think it comes with finding a balance because it's not like I think you just need to have the conversation because it'll help you better understand the person. So I think you
Hmm.
do, but I don't think you have to focus on it so much that it like overpowers the other aspects of the relationship. Like you're
Relationship.
just spending quality time and learning new things about each other and experiencing new things. But I think you should have the conversation when you're engaged because this is the person that you're going to be having sex with
All
for the
your
rest of
life.
your life. So you need
Yeah.
to, and then I feel like
Would
you
you
could get a lot
recommend a
of questions
Christian marriage
answered.
counselor or just a counselor?
Um, I
Or either or?
I personally probably that's hard to say because I feel like there may be some things that the Christian uh, counselor may not be able to answer
Hmm.
or feel comfortable addressing compared to just a regular marriage counselor.
Counselor. Okay.
So, but I think it's just kind of up to your discretion, like, you know, because there may be, but I think if you come across the right type of Christian marriage therapist or a counselor, they can cover all aspects of the relationship that you want to address, you know. So I think it
What
just
did he
depends.
say?
You need to know.
If they like the back of them kneecaps rubbed.
What?
What? I
Oh my
cannot.
god.
Oh my
But you really
gosh.
do. Like, honestly, Rifa, like, just me talking to you, whatever he
Yeah.
said, like, if you're engaged to this person and you're going to be having sex with this person, you need to have an open, honest conversation. Like,
Yeah.
especially if the person has had sex in the past, because
Yeah.
you may end up with someone who had sex, before. So
Yeah.
just learning about what they want, things that they like or whatever. I think you should talk
Look
about
at,
it.
why didn't they say what? Oh, he was talking to Autumn. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's talking to Autumn.
Oh, okay.
But have a conversation. Like, if you want whatever or curious about it, and I think if you do that when you're engaged, excuse me, when
Because
you're
I feel like I
married,
don't
it'll be
know what I
easier.
like or anything like that.
And
So
that's
it'll be
fine.
it'll be more so of asking him like what to expect.
So
Is
I
that
guess
what you
that's
would have
more
done?
so for, I guess it's mainly for like people who have had sex before, but they're practicing celibacy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense. Like like I said, I didn't really know what to ask or how to address that because I wasn't doing anything, so I didn't know. So I think that's
Mhm.
fine. But I think you should feel completely comfortable with your fiance entirely so that when you are married, there's no like, and I mean, there's probably going to be some awkwardness or some
Yeah.
things that you're not really comfortable with because it's new, and that's totally fine. But
Yeah.
you do need to get, and that's where you really rely on God to really help build your confidence and to like for him to guide you. Like you can go to him about anything. Like if something isn't right sexually, like you go to God, like Lord, work this out. Like I want this to work out, and it's not. Like you can do that. You can
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
him
yeah.
about anything. So
All right.
yeah.
So do you guys have any questions? Who's still on here?
I don't know. I can't really see because it's sideways. But
Got it. I don't know who's on. You guys have any questions?
how long have we been on here?
Girl, I don't even know.
Oh.
Oh, almost an hour. Because
Oh,
we
okay.
started at 5. We got like 5 minutes left.
Cool.
Anybody got questions? Even the married people.
Oh my god. What are you drinking?
Girl, margarita.
Oh, nice.
Autumn said 55 minutes.
How do you see it? Adam, how do you see it?
Because we can't.
Turn your
Your
phone
phone around.
around.
Shaleta.
Is it bothering you?
It's gonna go on YouTube and everybody's gonna be like, oh, finally towards the end.
Towards the end.
It's
Oh, I'm
bothering
that
me.
person too. I would be frustrated. Like, can you fix this, please?
What did Nate say? Just make sure they're not into no weird stuff. And you
But the
can work
thing
the
is,
rest.
though, if they are into weird stuff, if you're engaged, you can politely walk away from that engagement if you're not into it. So,
That's true. That's why we have to ask these questions.
yeah, like that's the thing. Even though you're engaged,
Because
you're
if you
still
some
technically single. You're not married, so you can walk
yeah,
away
that
from the
part.
engagement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Autumn said because y'all started at 5, duh.
Oh,
Your mama
was it
said
right
who
at that?
raised you.
You did. You raised me.
But that's so true though. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm walking away from that.
You can walk away. That's the
Because
beauty
if
of
it's
it.
some Christian Grey type stuff, uh, what
Yeah.
is it called? The movie? What is that movie called? With
50
all the
Shades of Grey?
yes, if it's 50 Shades of Grey type stuff, I don't know. That's a little scary for me.
I mean, some people are into that. But no,
Shanera
Shanira,
is
if you
so
walk away,
petty.
you can't keep the ring. No. You return that ring. That ring is not for you.
Oh my god. What Nate say? It's wild out here. I'm trying to tell y'all.
It
All
can
right.
be. That's why I'm thankful that I am married
Yeah, you're blessed,
right
girl.
now.
Keep that ring
Autumn,
there.
no. No, do not keep that ring. You know what?
You know
I ain't
Shanera
gonna hold
would.
you. I might keep that ring myself. If it's a big ring and you can, what is it? Pawn it? You can do
You
that.
could
She said,
pawn
you
it.
sure?
Yeah.
You can, yeah.
Oh, we got
See,
157
that's
minutes.
what Autumn said.
We only got 1 minute
Okay,
remaining.
well, this is great.
Well, Shalita, thank you so much. I
I hope I
appreciate
was able
you.
to answer. I feel like we were like going off on tangents a lot, but I hope I was able to like answer enough questions
No, you
for
did. I
you.
get it. And it's things you've told me, but just there's
Oh, I
reassurance.
also recommend this book. This is the book that Luana and I read in our premarital class.
What is it called?
It's called Seriously Dating or Engaged.
Okay, seriously dating or engaged.
And it was really helpful. We still use it even in our
Oh,
marriage. So,
seriously? Autumn said you did great, Shalita.
all things.
So accurate. Yeah. And she was nervous. She did a great
I
job.
was, because I don't be talking, you know, people
You was
like that.
spitting
But
truth.
I hope, people
Should we
got
bring Nate
something.
on here? Nate said that he wanted to come on here.
Oh, yeah, why
That'll be
not?
an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
All right, we got 53, 52, 51 seconds.
Do you want to just, we're just writing this out till it's 0
All
seconds?
right.
Well,
I love you guys. Thank you for watching Women of God Wednesday. We'll be back next week. Bye.
bye.